Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Bridgen from Compass Mark. I hope you are all well. I'm sorry that we cannot meet in person to do our Lions Quest groups. I'm going to be creating these videos instead and bring them to you at home. We're going to start today with a series of lessons on health and prevention. In this series, we're going to be talking about making responsible decisions, and healthy choices, and avoiding drug use. This means the underage use of alcohol, tobacco, marijuana, any illegal use of drugs, and using medications inappropriately. Today's lesson is called Looking Ahead. We'll be focusing on the goals that you have and really thinking about the obstacles that you may have to overcome in order to achieve your goals. There are short-term goals and there are long-term goals. A short-term goal takes a relatively short period of time to accomplish. So this could be days, weeks, months. A short-term goal that you might have is to complete 6th grade this year. Long-term goals, on the other hand, take years to accomplish. It could be what you want to be when you grow up, or maybe that you want to graduate high school with your current class. Of course, achieving our goals is not always easy, and oftentimes we face obstacles along the way. An obstacle is anything that gets in our way of achieving our goal. Some obstacles are small and some are big. Really getting over the obstacle is key to achieving our goals. Can you think of any obstacles that you've had to overcome to get this far in 6th grade? Maybe you were struggling with classes at the beginning of the school year and then you had to do something about it. Did you readjust your priorities? Maybe you were playing too many video games rather than focusing on class, or spending too much time with friends after school rather than doing your homework. Those are the type of obstacles that we come across all the time, and your goal is to readjust and get past that obstacle. How about a long-term goal? So if you're focused on completing high school with your current class in 6 years, what kind of obstacles can you come across within those 6 years? You could possibly struggle with school because of, again, playing too many video games and not readjust. What would happen then? Okay, another example of goal setting. This is for me. I always had the goal of staying healthy and active, and a couple years ago I was training for a running race, and I got injured along the way. So that was a major obstacle. I wasn't able to run anymore. I hurt my knee. And so to get over that obstacle, what I did was I had to completely change the way I worked out. And I started lifting weights and doing different activities that did not involve me putting so much impact onto my knee. So again, think about obstacles that you've overcome. I want you to take a minute and think of goals that you've accomplished. And what did you do to be able to overcome that obstacle? What would happen if we do not overcome our obstacles? We're going to take a look at this nice little chart here called Goals, Obstacles, and Impact. And we'll go over some examples. I have them covered up here. So let's do a little reveal. Establishing goals. We're going to take a look at a short-term goal first. So here's an example of a short-term goal: to establish healthy eating habits. We can anticipate an obstacle that would come along with that. What would you anticipate? Okay, so when I anticipate obstacles that would get in the way of eating healthy, I think of eating junk food, or watching too much TV, playing too many video games, things along those lines. How could that obstacle impact our goals? Well, if we are eating too much junk food and watching too much TV and playing too many video games, our goal of establishing healthy eating habits could derail. We could It could result in poor health or weight gain, isolation. Again, if we continue to eat the junk food and watch TV and play too many video games, it could impact our goals in the future. It could lead to lifelong health issues, obesity, and disease. Let's take a look at that chart when we're focusing in on a long-term goal. If we establish the long-term goal of avoiding using alcohol before turning 21, what are some possible obstacles that could get in the way of accomplishing that long-term goal? Some obstacles that I can imagine would be hanging out with people who drink, smoke, or use drugs, not being ready to say no, or wanting to be cool. How could those obstacles impact your goals now? Well, the obstacles could result in failing in school, being kicked off a team, having an accident, or getting in trouble with the police. And how could that obstacle of hanging out with people who drink or smoke or use drugs, how could that impact your goals in the future? It could lead to the inability to go to college or get a job, and you can end up going to jail, lose relationships or family, even death. So the purpose of focusing on the impact that our obstacles can have on our short-term and long-term goals would be so that we can better plan. We know that we're going to have obstacles in our way when we're working towards a goal. Then what? What do we do? And if we didn't do anything to overcome them, how could it affect us in the short term and in the long term? So I challenge you to take a look at your current goals. What are you working towards right now? And what are your long-term goals? What do you anticipate could be something that would get in your way? And how are you going to overcome that? And let's take a look at some of our reflecting questions. Okay, first, what is the importance of establishing goals and considering obstacles at this time in your life? Take a minute, think about that. And there's so what? Why do you think establishing short-term and long-term goals can help you set a positive course for your life and avoid risky behaviors such as drug use? Why do you think identifying obstacles is important to establishing goals that you can achieve? And then now what? Think about an obstacle you may have to achieve your goal. What might you plan to do to help overcome that obstacle? Thank you all so much for joining me today. Again, I'm Nicole Bridgen, and I apologize for any noise you hear in the background. As I said, I'm at home and my family is all here. I'm sure you're with your family as well. I hope, again, that you're all healthy, and I hope to be able to see your faces in the near future. Comment below if you feel like sharing something that you've talked about with your family members about the video, about goals, obstacles, etc. And I will follow up this one with a lesson on decision making. Take care, everyone.